I'm going to have to give you folks that didn't read the website a little history. I've already told you how it was originally the Green River community. This is going to be very confusing. The very first post office was called the Green River Post Office, and it was established in 1853 down in Tuxedo, down that way. And Meredith Freeman, the Freemans owned all of what we think of today as Tuxedo, was the first postmaster. Later on, a man by the name of Philip Hart, H-A-R-T, opened a store right there. And he opened the post office. He took over the post office thing. And that became the Green River Post Office in 1875. Now, they were building, after the Civil War, they started rebuilding the railroad track from Charleston. And they were building this railroad. This is the railroad that goes through Tryon, Saluda, up the mountain. And this is the railroad that goes into the Hendersonville. So in the 1870s, they were building this railroad. And they changed the name of that post office to Coleman. Coleman was one of the engineers building the railroad. So they named it after him. Then in 1882, they changed it back to Green River Post Office, right here. Then in the 1880s now, they're discovering all those zircons. These folks are making a lot of money. They're hauling out all these zircons. Thomas Edison's buying them and stuff. So they needed a depot, and they renamed the community Zirconia, and they renamed that post office as Zirconia Post Office in 1809. So that's how this section became known as Zirconia, all the way from 176 all the way down into here. And that was the Zirconia Post Office. And we'll talk about the others down in Tuxedo and Green River later, but since then this has been called Zirconia. Recently they built a new Zirconia Post Office. If you turn right there on Old 25, go up around the curve, it's on the left. So it's a brand new building, and the Zirconia Post Office up there on the left now has a rural route that serves all of Zirconia, all of Green River, and all of Tuxedo. Is that clear? And Mrs. Waters was the last postmistress, and that was her home. That is the old Zirconia Post Office. The folks live in it now, and it's a house now, a home. In 1910, when Joseph Oscar Bell started the Green River Manufacturing Company in Tuxedo, he needed to get his cotton cloth in and haul his products out. He needed to get the cotton in and the cloth out. So they built a depot right where you're standing. This was the depot for the railroad tracks here. The railroad company still owns this spot. And they called it the Tuxedo Depot because of Joseph Oscar Bell. So if that isn't confusing, I don't know what is, because this is not Tuxedo, it's Zirconia. The post office said Zirconia, but the depot said Tuxedo. Right across the street is the Zion Hill Baptist Church. That is not an old church. That church is a 20th century church, and I have not gotten the establishment date on it. So it's not of any great historical significance. When we turn out here, we're going to turn left. Let me go back to what I need to say to you. Be aware that Zirconia borders Flat Rock. So if you go on up this road, you pass the Zirconia Post Office, you're going to pass Pinnacle Mountain Road. That Pinnacle Mountain Road is Zirconia. It is not Flat Rock, it's Zirconia, despite what people in Kenmure want to tell you. You're going to go all the way up almost to the Woodfield Inn before that turns into Flat Rock. And that's the old road. We're going to go left. And as we go left, note Lake Summit on your left. We're going to drive right by Lake Summit on the left. And we're going to be turning into the old Tuxedo School.